section again, just to make sure we've got it in non-robot. Okay, so you sneak your way over to Capulet Castle, noticing on the way over how all the servants are running around with decorations, flowers and streamers. You can't tell if they're cleaning up after a party or preparing for the next one, but you smile. The hustle and bustle this generates will make your infiltration easier. Plus, even the security guards are helping out with the work, so sneaking in here is actually super easy. Once inside the castle grounds, you look around. You haven't really thought of the best way to approach this, but you know you need to get inside and close to the Capulets. A few ideas suggest themselves, but 2 of them stand out as being really terrific. Disguise yourself as a maid, or disguise yourself as an innocuous wall. Nobody ever suspects walls. So, Proxima has gone for wall. If anyone has any other sort of anyone has any other sort of requests or suggestions, then please, by all means, let me know. Otherwise, we will be disguising ourselves as a wall. Okay, so we are disguising ourselves as an innocuous wall because nobody ever suspects walls. So 10 to 55. Okay, here we go. 55. You make sure nobody is around, then sneak into Capulet Castle. You consider pressing up against an existing wall for your wall disguise, but realise that even in the best case, it'll attract attention because people will wonder why there are 2 walls back to back in that one section of hallway. You're too smart to make that beginner's mistake. Instead, you stretch your arms out and up and stand really still, and pose as a new wall, placed directly in the middle of the hallway. It is a terrible disguise, and when Mr. and Mrs. Capulet discover you standing in their hallway, that's basically what they say before they kill you. Y'all are enemies, remember? Thought Romeo was smarter than this, they say as they perform a murder on you. Though, for the life of me, I cannot remember why. The end. So congratulations, chat, we just killed Romeo. Don't know if it'll let me. No, it won't. There is a nice artwork there. So, I guess, chat, the important choice now is, do you want to go back to the previous decision and choose the other option, or do you want to start again from the beginning? So, I'll just give you guys a short amount of time to make that. No reruns. Okay, if anyone else has a request, I'll give them a few seconds. Otherwise, yes, this will be the no reruns rule, where we have no take backsies. Again, if we muck them up. Proxy rules. Fair enough. So, we start from the beginning. Okay. So, back to the start we go. Congratulations, chat. I think that's a new record of killing our character at the first decision. So, I won't read the intro again, we all remember it. So, the first choice is, do we want to get the book spoiled for you right off the bat, play without spoilers, or learn more about the author? I believe last time we chose play without spoilers. So, what would we like this time? So that's get the book spoiled for you right off the bat, play without spoilers, or learn more about the author. No spoilers? Okay. Let's give it a second for anyone else, and then on. Okay. Play without spoilers, I guess. So, turn to. Okay. Again, I won't read this since we went through it last time, but it's basically a choice of do we want to play as Romeo or play as Juliet? So, do we want to be Romeo or do we want to be Juliet? So, Needle says, let's try Juliet. I'd say that's probably a fair idea, since he seems to be a fair deal smarter than Romeo. Just based on her introduction alone. Does anyone else have any requests, or shall we just go Juliet? Okay. We will go with Juliet. So, to choose Juliet, turn to 4. Okay. So, you are Juliet. Right now, you're sitting in your bedroom, chatting with your nurse and only friend, Mrs. Angelica Nurse. Yes, her last name is Nurse, and she works as a nurse. Don't judge Juliet. It's not like you haven't calculated a few times before. We've all seen it. Anyway, your nurse, a nurse, leaves you because it's 9 AM and she has things to do, among them getting this house ready for the crazy party your parents are throwing tonight. Yes, a crazy party on a Sunday. Who throws a party on a Sunday night? The rich who don't have to work, that's who. This includes your parents, and, assuming they die without producing any male heirs, eventually you as well. You have things to do too, Juliet. Tear through some quick stomach crunches, 3 reps of 10, and some pec blasts, 4 reps of 8, and you're ready to start your day. So, you're well muscled and your family's rich. What's for breakfast? Haha, just kidding. Your parents have already planned out your whole day for you weeks in advance. When you get downstairs, Mum and breakfast are already waiting for you. She puts your protein shake on the counter, tells you to drink it up, and leaves. Yes, Mum, you say automatically. So do we drink the protein? Oh no, it says drink the protein shake and turn to 5. Don't get a choice here. You reach for the protein shake and bring it to your lips. And because I'm sure you want to know what you're drinking, let me give you the recipe. Juliet's Pro Power Miracle Shake. Ingredients: 1 pound of protein, animal flesh basically. You get yours on standing order from the Merchant of Breakfast downtown. Enjoy. It's about as good as it sounds, and it sounds great! You chug down breakfast quickly and efficiently, wiping your mouth with the back of a well-muscled arm, and you're off to start your day. Time to grab this day by the horns and wrestle it into submission. Only, at this point, your mum sticks her head in and says, Juliet, would you be a dear and clean your room? Yes, Mum, you say automatically. Go clean your room. 7. We're not really having a lot of choice here, are we? Sorry, 10 to 6. Yep. You go upstairs and clean your room, Juliet, just as you were told. When you're done, you shout downstairs to your mum. I'm done cleaning, Mum, you shout. Good girl, she replies. Please sit there and do your loot homework until I call for you. Yes, Mum, you say automatically. You spend several hours practicing on your loot. Yesterday, your mum said that if you get good enough at it, she'll allow you to perform at one of their parties. You don't even like the loot that much, but the idea did get you a little excited. Of course, in her next breath, she said you were nowhere near good enough at loot yet and doubled the number of pieces you have to learn by the end of the week. After a while, you hear your mother calling up to you. That's enough, Juliet, she shouts, probably tired of hearing the first few bars of Minor Key Study Piece for Intermediate Loot Students number 52 over and over again. You've got 2 hours of personal time now, but don't leave the castle. Yes, Mum, you say, super excited. The free time you get is the best time of the day. And that's not saying much, actually. But enough about that sad stuff. It's time to have some friggin' fun! Go have fun. To 7. So the thing is, you're not allowed out of the house, and everyone's busy with prepping for the party. Even your nurse can't talk to you right now. You flex your way downstairs to the servants' kitchen and ask if there's anything you can do to help out. And while you do help them open up a few tricky jars, it only takes half an hour at most to go through every tricky jar you can find. Soon, all the jars are opened and you're surreptitiously screwing on a few lids super tight, so at least you'll have something to do tomorrow morning. It's pretty boring, Juliet. I should have told you this sooner, but your life is pretty boring these days. Days, really. The sad fact is, it's boring to live in a castle with your parents where nothing interesting happens and you got big into muscles, because then at least you'd have something to do while standing around bored for hours. That something is building muscles. So that's what you do. You go work out so that you might maintain your existing muscles and maybe get better ones too. And before you know it, your free time is almost over and it's time to go back into your room. Finish your workout, turn to 8. You gingerly put down the weights you were blasting and wipe down your workout equipment. Then you change out of your wet and sweaty and gross and stinky and entirely unsexy Juliet workout tights and into your much less sweaty and at least slightly sexier Juliet hanging around the castle tights, with your favourite red dress on top. You're just pulling it on when you hear Angelica calling for you. In a minute, you reply, but a few seconds later you can hear your mum and Angelica outside your door. Your mum is asking where you are and Angelica is saying that she already called for you. I called for her already, I swear I did. I swear on my virginity at age 12, she says. Which is kinda weird and a little bit pervy. That was kinda weird and a little bit pervy, you mutter to yourself, making the final adjustments to your dress. You leave your bedroom and greet your mother and nurse waiting outside your door. Guys, calm down, I'm here, you say. What do you want? Your mum sends your nurse away. Juliet and I must talk privately, she says. Okay, Angelica says, leaving. Wait, I just remembered. Actually, you're allowed to hear our secrets, your mum says. Okay, Angelica says, returning. Wait, before we start, your mum says. Pop quiz. How old is my only child? You'd like to say she's testing your nurse, but you're not entirely convinced your mum actually knows. So, oh, well, the options would be let Angelica answer and turn to 9, or answer for her so that, wait, never mind, Angelica's answering already. That's what you get for never speaking up, Juliet. Guess we're gonna let Angelica answer after all. Turn to 9. So, don't worry, I think we actually do have a choice coming up in a minute. Angelica says your 17th birthday will be this July 31st. Hey, that's only a few weeks away. Exciting! And she knows it down to the hour because her own child, Susan, was born that very same day. Spoiler alert, Angelica tends to go on a bit, so I'm going to cut this down to just the highlights because nobody's getting paid by the word here. Brevity is the soul of wit. That's a saying you can attribute to me, the author of this crazy branching novel. Make sure nobody else steals it. So, here are the Angelica highlights. You were born July 31st, and she knows because her own baby was born the same day. That baby is named Susan. Nice name. That baby is dead now. Whoa, dang, yo! There was an earthquake on your birthday 14 years ago. Irrelevant information, feel free to get this right now. You stopped breastfeeding on that very day. Okay, that's fine. She put wormwood on her nipple to wean you. Okay, whatever, let's move on. This made you mad at her breast, and you and the breast had a falling out. How are we still talking about this? The day before the combination earthquake/weaning, you fell while walking and bruised your face, and Angelica's husband picked you up to comfort you. Her husband is dead now too. Oh, wow. Her husband asked you if you fell forward on your face, and then asked if when you grew up you'd fall backwards instead. What the heck? That's a sex euphemism. Her late husband made sex jokes to a 3-year-old child. May I just reiterate? What the heck? Seriously? Seriously? Anyway, 3-year-old you said yes to this question that you could not possibly understand, and it was so hilarious that here we are talking about it over a decade later. At this point, your mum, totally of her own volition and not because I'm getting tired of this myself, asks Angelica to be quiet, which she eventually does, but not before adding, the bruise on your head was as big as a rooster's testicle. Wow, you want to end this here, Juliet? So, the options we have are, ask them what they want to talk to you about, or, wait, hold on, I don't really have context for the rooster's testicle thing. How big are we talking about here? So guys, the options are, do we ask them what they want to talk to us about, or would we like context on how large a rooster's testicles are? I will give you guys a moment and continue with the art study. So, context, obviously. Okay. Give me just a second. Continue blocking in this blue. Okay, so we would like context on how large a rooster's testicle is. Gotcha. So, turn to 418. Ooh, crikey, we're getting pretty far into this book. 18. Gosh, I don't know. About the size of a small leg? Okay, cool, gross. Turn to 10. So there we have it, guys. About the size of a small egg. Your mum says she wants you to get married and have kids right away. You know, like she did when she was 12. She says you're overdue, Juliet. Moms, am I right? Anyway, she's organised this party tonight so you can meet your future husband, to whom you are, as of a few hours ago, already promised. She's set it all up, wheels are already in motion, so you'll definitely be marrying the dude you meet tonight. Also, she says, it's a master ball, so everyone will be hiding their faces. You note to yourself that this is a terrible themed party to have if you actually want to judge how attractive people are. So this dude she wants you to marry must be an uggo. Juliet, your mum says, don't you think this surprise mandatory arranged marriage is the most wonderful news? Alright, this is getting serious. If you keep doing everything your mother asks of you, you're going to end up married to a stranger. And not just any stranger, but one who thinks the best way to meet women is to get their mums to promise women to him sight unseen. You want to get out of here, see the world, maybe start making some decisions for yourself? Or do you want to say, yes, Mum, automatically? So, your options are, chat, run past them, tear out of the house and never look back, or say, yes, Mum, automatically. What do we want to do, guys? What do we want to do? Get the fuck out, Needles says. I think a lot of us could get behind that one. Just give you a couple more seconds in case Prox wants to chime in. But I know he's also trying to multitask with Hades at the same time. Okay. So, we are getting the fuck out. So, turn to 5. You push your way past your mum and your nurse and run out of the castle. No way are you staying in that crazy house. You're sorry your mum got married too young and that damaged her, but that doesn't mean you're going to stand around and let her do the same thing to you. Sorry, Mum. Sorry, Angelica, but right now you're running away from home. Literally. You've made it a few minutes from your house when you realise all you've got on you is the dress you're wearing. So, you do something you're not accustomed to doing. You make a decision. And that decision is to run back to the house, jog in through the back entrance, and pack a bag with clothes, money, jewellery to pawn, a map of Verona, some free weights, and some snacks. Then you run away from home again. Once you're clear of your parents' estate, you stop to rest for a bit. You pull out your map and examine it. There's one place in particular you've always wanted to see, but your parents never gave you permission to visit. The Romeo District. It's got that name because all the guys there hit on the ladies. Let's go see if it lives up to its reputation. So our options are go to the Romeo District, or, you know what, never mind, return home again. So, Do we go to the Romeo district, or do we give up and just turn around and go back home? Romeo district, not quitting yet. I like the cut of your jib. Never give up. Never... Okay, 46. You make your way down to the Romeo district. Your parents aren't going to marry you off, but that doesn't mean you can't find a dude on your own terms, right? Nothing serious, though. You're 16, there'll be plenty of time to get serious when you're way older and way less nubile. You find yourself a promising-looking place called All Too Precious Brew, and sit yourself down at the bar. In front of you is a tiny little book with beer menu featuring the winter's ale printed on the front. Hey Juliet, it's like one of those an adventure might happen depending on your choices books, except instead of choosing to go on an imaginary adventure that didn't actually happen, you get to choose a beer in real life and then you get to drink that beer. You open up the book and peruse your choices. There are a few that look interesting. Stout and bitter, pale and single ale, imperial stout, and barley wine. Hey, all the drinks here are sexual frustration themed. You figure there must be a lot of horny dudes down here in the Romeo district. Either that or the brewers need to get out. Maybe both? Probably both. Anyway, you choose which beer you want, and then you choose to order it. Your adventure in beer is well underway. A few seconds later, the bartender delivers your beer. Hold it above your head in a toast. I drink to the general joy of the whole bar, you say. And then you take a swig. As you lower your beer from your lips, you notice that the two seats next to you now have men in them. Ah, classic Romeo district. Do you wish to examine the dudes or ignore the dudes? Okay, chat. Do we want to examine these dudes or do we wish to ignore them? Oh! Proxima redeemed mini rave. Is it going to work? Needle says ignore them. I don't... Why is the mini rave not working? Press.
Secret press.
Okay. Mini rave, yeah. Pump. I love you too, honey. Very much. Hey, there we go. Oh, yes, please. I would love a copy. Okay. So, Needle says ignore the dudes. So we shall ignore them. Oh, and Fox has left touch portal up. Let's go back to that. So for some reason Clip Studio does not like to just do window capture for some reason. So I kind of have to do display capture and just crop it down. It's a bit annoying, but not too bad. Okay, so ignoring the dudes, turn to 75. 70. Okay. You ignore the dudes. They ask how you're doing, and then they ask you if you know what their shirts are made of, and then they tell you they're made of boyfriend material, and then they ask you if your daddy is a baker because you've got some hot buns, and then they go away. When you're done with your drink, you order another, and at the end of your fifth, you've decided, hey, why are you the one running away from home? Your parents are the ones who are freaky, married, chappy weirdos. You should be the one kicking them out, right? Right? So you slam down some money to pay for your beers. You're about to leave when you think, hey, whoa, maybe I should actually drink some water before running back home super drunk. Do you drink the water, or, well, actually water in this time period isn't the cleanest and is usually drawn from the same sources we put our sewage in. In contrast, the water used in beer has been boiled, and the alcohol in it can kill bacteria, so yeah, I think beer's fine. So, do we drink water, or do we say that the beer is fine? She'll continue blocking colours. Oh, have another beer, Needle says. Brilliant. Now, I am just going to temporarily mute, because Prox is about to boil a kettle. So, oh, sorry, the coffee grinder. Followed by the kettle. So, we're just going to mute. I'm just going to do a tiny bit more art while we listen to the crackling fire. we are back. There we go. I apologise for the brief interlude there, but we did get some nice work done on the bottle, so that's always a plus. I think it's coming along rather well. Pretty pleased with it. So, we decided that the beer is fine, and we'd rather be a little bit tipsy than possibly dying of cholera. So, turn to 66. You say, "No water for me, bartender," as you leave, which wasn't necessary at all, and then jog back to the castle. You've never jogged buzzed before. It's thirsty work. When you get there, that party your parents were having is in full swing. You're drunk enough not to care, which is great. In fact, you're precisely drunk enough to either kick everybody out or puke on yourself and then go to bed. So guys, do we kick everybody out or do we puke on ourselves and go to bed? So it's your choice. Prox says puke. Needles, do you have a preference on kicking people out or puking? Let's give you another 30 or so seconds while I lock in this bottle cap. There. And okay. We shall puke. So, 78. You push open the double doors to the party room. The instant you do, the orchestra stops mid-note and everyone turns to look at you. This is your moment! Hey everyone, I'm back, you say. It's me, Juliet! Someone coughs. You say, throwing up on yourself in one giant load. It takes about 30 seconds. During this time, your mother takes her mask off and steps forward to comfort you, but you hold your hand up. No. No! This is what I wanted, you say through a mouthful of vomit. Realising that today isn't going to get any better from here on out, you decide to bail on it. You head upstairs, leaving your dress in a pukey pile, and go to bed. Wake up the next morning. Turn to 86. You wake up the next morning hungover. Your first thought is, oh man, did I drop a vom last night? Your second thought is, wait, did dropping voms actually solve my problem? And it turns out it did. Threw up, you looked unattractive, and the dude your parents wanted you to marry didn't want anything to do with you. Mission successful, Juliet. And it's the perfect passive-aggressive technique to stand up to your parents' controlling ways. Your parents quickly arrange another party, this time inviting a whole new subset of Verona, and you again ensure that you vomit right in front of everyone. You take careful attention to throw upon whoever they want you to marry this time, who it turns out is one Sir Andrew Aguicheek. Well, he's Sir Andrew Aguicheek now. Your parents keep arranging parties to marry you off, and you keep vomiting on whoever they choose. You eventually get tired of that, so you start paying a local boy to puke on people after saying, "This is from Juliet Capulet." It is as effective as it is gross nasty, which is to say, extremely. A few years later, you meet someone you don't want to instantly vomit on. His name's Orlando, and he's easygoing and fun, and he's actually done what you almost did a few years ago, run away from home. He ran out his front door, right through the Forest of Arden, and only stopped when he reached Verona. At it doesn't hurt that he's absolutely ripped. Absolutely gorgeous. The two of you get along really well. He's a terrible poet, but an enthusiastic one, and he tags all the trees in Verona with poetry about you. You walk past a tree one day that has her worth being mounted in the alphabet. Through all the world bears Juliet carved into it. You pass another that reads, all the fairest pictures a dude can get are but black to Juliet. A third reads, but oh, how wonderful a thing it is to look into happiness through my own eyes. I'm talking about Juliet here, by the way. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Love it. He joins you in your daily workouts, and it's almost too much of a good thing. Your heart feels like it's going to burst. You marry each other and you're happy with each other, and later on the two of you save his brother's life by literally wrestling a lion. I promise I'm not making this up. The end. P.S. You wrestled a lion and won, so your final score is holy crap, that's awesome out of 1,000. So guys, we got to the end again, and this time we ended up falling in love and marrying a really handsome buff guy called Orlando and wrestling a lion. So I'd say that's a pretty big, yeah, yay! That is a pretty big one. Also, I love that puking after running on a stomach full of beer is much more likely. It was, and we did. Yes, this time we didn't get killed. Playing as Juliet is much more fun than playing as Romeo. So, following Proxy's rule, we need to start again from the beginning. So, do we want to play as Juliet again, or do we want to go back to Romeo? And while you guys make that decision, I shall continue with this art piece, which is starting to look a lot closer. Okay, Needles. Thank you very much for joining in so far. I hope that your dinner comes out really... And Prox has blessed you. Bless you. Unless we just want to turn this into an art stream for the last 30 minutes, because I am totally down for that, because we can always choose a different book. I think it's possibly sounding like a good idea now. So, tell you what, let's call that there. We'll choose your own adventure. Oh, Needles says, oh, yeah, but you're going off to eat, Needles. And I wouldn't want you to miss out on the next adventure. And there will be more next week. Have no fear. And the coffee's done. So, I'll have to sort my own milk, apparently. That's fine. Yeah, so we'll just do some art for now. So I will actually just... There we go. And we will just continue. We'll either start Romeo and or Juliet again next week, or we will start another choose your own adventure book. I'd say that's good. We got a Romeo ending and a Juliet ending. So oh, hi Jellycat! Thank you so much for lurking. I hope you enjoy yourself, and I appreciate the company. Slightly... Right. Hey Panakin, how are you? Yeah, we finished doing the choose your own adventure for this week. We managed to kill Romeo and marry Juliet to a buff guy called Orlando, and she then successfully wrestled a lion, apparently. So now we are just just doing a little bit of art for the last half hour or so, with a lovely flickering fire in the background. So, oh, thank you. It is. We'll be doing some more of it possibly next week. Or we'll be choosing another one. I'll pop a poll up. It is definitely an improvement, isn't it? We got drunk and vomited all over ourselves as well. It was brilliant. As Juliet. But this bottle is actually me kinda redoing a piece I did back for GCSE. I did a light study as one of the first pieces I did, GCSE art, and I was really extraordinarily proud of it, and unfortunately, because I couldn't get into the school on an off day because I was reliant on the school bus and stuff, I missed the chance to collect my art, or at least I never got really from that, and so unfortunately all of the pieces I'd done for GCSE got thrown away by my teacher, so I don't have them anymore, and that rather upsets me. So I figured, since Salmon mentioned having a bottle of... Oh, it's okay. I mean, they probably weren't that great in hindsight, given I was like, 15. But you know, it's the principle of the matter. So I thought to myself, you know, since Salmon mentioned having some Bombay Sapphire bottles lying around, I asked if he would be willing to send one my way for art purposes, and Fef very lovingly dropped it off along with our Dirt Maid mug, and yeah, here we are. I only did art in high school and I was terrible at all my pieces. Yeah, I could have sworn that my dad had taken some pictures, but I've never managed to find them. If he did, they may be sitting on hard drives, but I still need to finish extracting data off of those, which I was supposed to do like 3 years ago when he passed away, and I never got around to because I'm terrible. But oh! Oh, Call Me, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. I really enjoyed checking your stream out earlier, so thank you very much for following. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the art we're working on with the wonderful crackling fire. Thank you. But as I was saying, yeah, Panikin, there was one that I really did want to save, which was the final piece I did, because I was very proud of it. It was like a A3, and in the background it had grayscale pieces I painted of various deadly animals. So there was the stinger of a scorpion, and a lioness roaring, the head of a lioness, and I think a couple of other things, all in grayscale, kind of meshed together. And I think I was trying to go for a bit of a Geiger vibe, and then built on top of that. Oh no, it's okay, thank you, Pat McKinn. Built on top of that was what's supposed to be like a phoenix type bird, but the idea was I'd done it so it popped out of the canvas, and I painted that so in colour, so it stood out from the background, because I'd done some studies on birds and things, and yeah, I was really proud of it. And I lost that as well, which sucks. But we still have the self-portrait I did, I think, when I was about 12. Sounds beautiful. I'd probably look at it now and go, oh my god, why did I think this was that good? But, yeah, it's, that's kind of where that was, and I figured at least I can redo the bottle now, as an adult, and see how it comes out. Oop. just clicked on your channel from my follower list just to check if you stream regularly and you're live. What are the odds? Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, I am. I stream Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So, Thursdays are currently choose your own adventure game books and some art at the same time. And Wednesdays are usually indie games, although it's Pokemon this week to make up for missing the previous Pokemon stream. Saturdays are variety, could be anything. This week it's Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then Sunday will be more Pokemon. So that's going to be great. And then next week I'm going to sort out the the channel points stream with Needles and torment her with that, where we play Yoshi's Crafted World on the Nintendo Switch together. It's gonna be great. So Anyone's wondering, I have the bottle on the desk. Yeah. So I can sit. At the moment, pretty much mostly. At the time I was doing GCSE, digital art was a lot I'd say tricky to just get into. I think my first tablet around then was just like a Wacom bamboo pen. But wasn't very good with it at all. So that was kind of how that went. And now, well, if I was about 14 then, and I'm 26 now, it's about 12 years later, so I much prefer digital art now, though, over traditional, just because I've got so used to working with layers and, you know, the real versatility of the medium. So, you know, all these different brushes that I can use and download, available. Yeah, and it's so much easier to store, indeed. It's a lot easier to have some... Yeah, I know. It's okay, I'm gonna heat it in the microwave. Proc's just reminding me that I've got coffee there, but I'll heat it up after. Jojo!
Joe!
I don't know if you heard him. Hey Jojo, how are you? Howdy. Yeah, it is less messy as well. I do a bit of traditional stuff every now and again. When you know, actual human contact was still permitted, and Salmon and Pfaff and stuff would come around and we'd play D&D still. Then there would be like, I'd do minis and things and some miniature painting for that. So I do quite like that, but it's not really been any need for minis or painting them over the last few months, so I kind of haven't. But I have to admit, doing this still life is a lot of fun, and it's bringing back a lot of confidence and memories that I thought I'd lost in terms of my ability to do art. Oh yeah, I do love a bit of painting. Much better than when I was a kid. Oh, you should have seen some of the absolutely terrible. 10. It's really fun to do. I should do this more often. It's good. How's everyone's day been, by the way? I realise I've just been chittering on about art, and I completely have neglected to ask you guys how your day has been going. I do apologise. Obviously, carried away there. Oh, it's okay. I know that it's always going to be a... Oh, there's the other advantage of digital art, the undo button. There's people who it just doesn't come naturally to. There's people who put a lot of effort in and time, even if it doesn't naturally because they enjoy it. There's people who it comes naturally to just generally, and then there's people that, you know, like Fairford, it seems to come quite naturally to, and they put a ton of time and effort in, and they... Oh, one second. Just a regular work day. Fair enough. Oh, that. Ooh, that's starting to take shape, isn't it? Yeah, this is starting to really take some more shape. Tim. That's somewhere with it. But yeah, when I was doing GCSE art, this was first module they had us do was this. It was like a light study on. Well, thank you, Jojo. On how light reacts with different objects and mediums and painting it, and obviously one of the best things to look at is glass bottles, especially coloured glass bottles. It's too... But yeah, there's no better way. Although I have to admit, I never questioned it at the time. Thank you, Pammican. I never questioned it at the time as a teenager. But why did the art department have so many Bombay Sapphire bottles lying around? It's rather food for thought there, isn't it? Yeah, just all the teachers getting shit-faced in the staff room. Sketching. I think I still prefer the Roku that Prox and I have been. That's it's quite a nice gin. Yeah, art teachers I find are an interesting sort, and I know that it's not entirely their fault that the curriculum focuses so much more on the artsy, you know, modern, how do you interpret this and how do you justify this piece, as opposed to actual practical art skills, especially at the examination level. That's not entirely their fault, although, and I know mine particularly tried, but I could never get what they wanted from me. CSE. It was like, you know, we want you to, you know, study how this famous artist did stuff, and then, you know, replicate bits of their stuff, and then do your own interpretation. And I was just like, why can't I just put it on? Like, let me just paint, damn it. But, you know, no, it had to be all artsy-fartsy, didn't it? Have real meaning and that jazz. Which I think is why I ended up with a B. So that I could actually get whatever weird shenanigans they, although, I say that, but my GCSE art teacher, his name was Mr. Kelly, and we had an interesting relationship, because as I said, I just didn't quite get what they really wanted from us. Yeah, I didn't really get what they wanted from us, and, you know, that wasn't his fault, but he did teach me one of the most important lessons that I ever learned when it comes to art. And, well, particularly when you are doing things like self-portraits and still lives or anything like what I'm doing now. And it's a mistake that I see so many kids make, especially people that don't seem to have that natural proclivity towards art. And that is, he said, draw what you see, not what you know is there. So what he meant by that was, because you know when kids draw stuff and they'll draw eyes and they'll draw like a circle and then they'll draw eyelashes and they'll draw, you know, a mouth and they'll draw all the teeth in, and it gives that classic kids drawing look. And that's the mistake that they're making, is they're drawing what they know is there. So they know that there are eyelashes there, they know that, you know, there are teeth there. But if you're looking at in a mirror to do a self-portrait and stuff, you might not be able to see all of the eyelashes. You might just see some shadow, and, you know, you might not be able to see all the teeth because it's, you know, shadowed by the lips, or some of the lips are in the way. So what you really should be doing is looking in the mirror and drawing the shadows and the highlights and the shapes that you see, not what you know is there, because you know that eyes have eyelashes, and eyes have that little bit in the middle, so in the inner corner, and you know that you have teeth there and gums. But if you can't see it, you shouldn't draw it when you're copying something from reality. And that was, I think, one of the biggest things that he ever taught me. Is yeah, draw what you see, not know is there. Yeah, that is definitely that one hit home for me, because he demonstrated it as well. There was a boy in our GCSE art class, and he was trying to do a portrait of another member of the class for stuff, and you know, Mr. Kelly was coming round checking on how everyone was doing, and the boy said he was having problems, and he looked at it and he said, and he taught him that lesson. He said, you know, draw what you see. No is there. And he grabbed a piece of paper and he looked across at the same boy that this kid had been drawing, and he just started sketching, but only, you know, the shadows and the shapes that he could see, and it looked incredible, you know, and it was just a rough sketch, but it looked 10 times better than what this kid had been going on for hours. And I mean, yes, years of experience is a thing as well, but it really drove home that point, because, you know, you couldn't see the individual and things in the sketch because you couldn't see them in real life, and it was a lesson in abstraction as well, and it was really fascinating, and it really drove it home to me when we were working. And it was something that I kind of realised reflecting back as well, a lot later, that there were a lot of times where, you know how when it's sort of year 7, year 8, you know, the younger years, and yeah, he was a very good teacher in that regard, very good teacher in that. When you're in your younger years, and, you know, all the kids have to do art, not just the ones that have picked it for subjects, exams and things. And one of the projects that we had to do when I was that age was self-portraits. And I have a very distinct memories of, well, my teacher actually telling me at one point to stop, because she said perfect. I mean, looking back, far from perfect as I was going to get at the time. And I could see why she didn't want me to make little changes. But yeah, it was when I actually look back on it, because I found it as an adult, I'd done this piece, and I look back and I realised that it actually looked like Edvard Munch's The Scream. It ended up in that kind of art style, and I don't know why, but that's what I'd ended up painting. And but it stood out to me because all the other kids had done that thing, you know, where they draw the standard eye shape and stuff, and, you know, very general hand shapes. And I'd sat there and I just painted what I saw in the mirror and tried to get, you know, the same colours on the shadows and things. Oh, it was. I think it's still at Needles' house. So if I manage to find it at some point, I will have to put it on my Discord, because it was brilliant. I just realised I had some colours I need. It's to be I really like this brush, actually, though. And yeah, if I find it, I will definitely make sure to share it. Because it is really fun to just look at, especially now. Maybe I have to do that for another art stream. See if I can redo my self-portrait. The idea was we had to pick an emotion and do a self-portrait. And I think I picked Love Struck, despite having literally at that point never been love struck in my entire life. And I remember there was one girl in class and she got so mad at me because she had completely, without his disgust, also picked the same emotion, and she was like, "You better not copy my ideas to have hearts for eyes." And I was like, why would I? We're doing self-portraits. It's a dumb idea. Because that was not. Yeah. Guess whose portrait got put on the wall when whose did? Ah. Totally not, Betty, I swear. Yeah. Well, I have to admit, I think that one was rather limited by, my skill level at the time, because I hope I don't see myself as being in the Scream. Because that would be somewhat terrifying. Yeah, the idea was, I cannot remember for the life of me what technique is called. It's the one where the brush strokes you use and the way you apply them reflects the emotions and mood that you want to convey. I think it's expressionism. I think. Anyway, that was what we were supposed to do. Not the one where, you know, you make stylistic choices like that to get emotion. It was supposed to be done with the brush strokes. So the idea was we practiced our self-portrait skills and tried to make our brush strokes convey that. Yes, like Van Gogh. Oh, Van Gogh. Exactly like that. And that's what we were supposed to do. So I was there, painting my self-portrait, and then on the background trying to use lots of light, airy, rough lines upwards and to convey, you know, that kind of head over heels, you know, floating on air, lovey type stuff. Not drawing hearts for eyes. It's more of a... There we go. Pretty proud of how this is coming. No. There's only about 4 minutes or so left anyway, and I am more than happy to chat while I'm going. So, I mean, technically this bottle has all sorts of labels and stuff on it, but I don't really feel like painting. Would be, you know, here in this big old space that I've left. But, I don't know, I kind of like it how it is, you know? think there's really a need to put a label. Try and do all of that. The original did. Chuffed with this. Yep. Ah, yes, that's what I was going to do. Brill. So, yeah, just focuses on all the lights and colours. You Famikin. So yeah, in a few minutes I'll raid onto Meg's stream. She's doing some Witchit, and I would love to join in. Now that, you know, I have Witchit. So, that's gonna be great. The reason, by the way, that this has an orange background is because I distinctly remember that I had painted the original with an orange background, because obviously orange and blue are complementary colours. Yeah, I even missed the stream where people were playing it last time, so I would be going in completely blind to Witcher, but it sounds so much fun. So save this down. Oh, you know what? You know what? Go. There we go. Oh, no, don't worry about the roundabout method. I completely understand Steam is very weird with different currencies. I know why, and obviously it's to just stop people exploiting the stores of countries with lower regional pricing. But it does kind of suck. You want to gift stuff to people. So, yeah, I really appreciate it, and I think, yeah, we are about done with this painting. I am very pleased with that. And that took me a lot less time than it did as a 14-year-old. I was also trying to get some new brushes this time. So, oh, thank you. There we go. Yeah, I am pretty done. Okay, sorry, admiring my own work now. So I will save that down and put it on Discord later on. And I think we should do still lives along with stuff on Thursdays, because that's quite fun to do, to be honest. Okay, so let us arrange a cheeky raid. If is Meg live yet is the question. She is! Yes. Brilliant. Okay guys, so we're gonna raid Meg. If you have access to my channel emotes. Let's get those mallows in chat as we raid. And then I might see you over there for some witching. Thank you for stopping by, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Oh, thank you, Pammikin. I really appreciate it. Okay, and